Note the disclaimer.
It still takes 45 seconds for Pixar and Disney's logos to jerk each other off.
Right out of the gate with a disgusting sexual metaphor, huh? No wonder you struck out with your college girlfriend. Also, this once again is useful to show you who made the movie.
This is Agent Leland Turbo.
Pixar takes the Doc Hollywood-style story of Cars and makes the sequel a spy movie, like it's fucking James Bond.
Oh, good for you. You can read a plot synopsis. Okay, for real though, like I said in the first Cars video, I love the second movie. The plot is still very engaging despite being more focused on Mater's character arc instead of McQueen's, since instead of it being about learning humility, it's about the realization that Mater comes off as a fool and that he'd been embarrassing himself and his friends, as unintentional as it may have been.
Okay, fine. He found a way to sneak over to the other ship when no one was looking. The problem is, the ship he's hanging on to is alive and probably has feelings and so how does he hook on to another sentient vehicle's flesh without that guy knowing?
Finn would essentially be like an insect to the aircraft carrier. I mean, I've had ants on my body and never noticed until I look down or they start biting.
Finn, please respond. Over.
Movie also airs and spending way too many opening minutes on characters we don't know.
Maybe because we get to know them as the movie progresses?
Guys, these crates aren't gonna unload themselves.
Although we are living in a world where if the crates did unload themselves, we wouldn't bat an eye.
But like Luke mentions, the crates aren't sentient. So really, there's no point to this sin, is there? I mean, hell, this entire movie franchise is about sentient planes, trains, and automobiles. And no, again, I'm not bringing planes into this.
Even if you could do this, why would you do this? You had a perfect look into what this operation was and got crystal clear audio. The only reason you do this is so you can get caught for movie purposes.
Well, even with his Spycam's zoom and enhance feature, Finn needs to get closer to see what Zundap's scheme is with the camera.
2 tons of bull here, folks. 2 tons of bull.
Care to explain why? Or are we just supposed to take your word for it? Because let me tell you this right now, I'm not buying it.
If every car on this rig was following him up the ramp that just exploded, then how are there any cars up here at the top ready to chase after him?
Because there would have already been a few cars up on the higher platforms. Just like there were by the railings when Finn was first caught by Zundap.
About a minute ago, we just saw a car explode from the surface tension. So how does Finn survive an even higher jump?
Well, we'd have to take the build quality into consideration for a bit, since Finn is based on a well-looked-after 1963 Aston Martin DB5, while the Lemon cars are shoddily put together AMC Pacers and Gremlins from the 70s. Secondly, Finn is trained for this kind of dive and is fully in control, while the pacer chasing him was slipping on oil.
Here's a car operating a gun on board a boat. And again, I raise my concerns about how this fucking vehicle society works. Why is a car sentient enough to fire a boat gun, but the boat itself is not?
Well, if you didn't cut scenes out to prove your point, you'd see Tony Tryhole launching projectiles at him.
Finn's got all the cool spy gadgets, and that comes with the territory in spy movies. But if he could do this, why did he need to hitch a ride on a boat? He could have gone completely stealth mode underwater all the way up to the rig.
I would imagine there's a limit to using this technology. Time, resources, whatever. The point being it would have potentially been a waste, and the next time he tried to use it, he'd be dead in the water. Literally.
Who can stop us now?
Mater! Tow Mater! That's who!
That moment when you realize Mater is the sequel's main character instead of Lightning.
Okay, and? What's the problem here?
This is your 10th tow this month, so that means it's on the house.
What kind of ass-faced tow company has a rewards policy where your 10th tow in a month is free?
This isn't our reality.
Is Lightning McQueen back yet?
Movie literally imitates conversations between children and their parents almost 9 minutes into this car sequel.
Again, what's your problem?
Must be crazy excited about winning his 4th Piston Cup.
Expositional towing.
No, he's just saying he won a race. Besides, he was the one that asked if McQueen was back, like you showed in the previous scene.
Mater, it's so good to see you.
You too, buddy.
Speak for yourselves.
That sounds like a you problem, bud.
Look, I know Paul Newman died a couple years after Cars, but how did his character die? That motherfucker was in tip-top shape. If this asshole Otis can keep driving around and breaking down on the side of the road, surely Doc could do better than that. I feel like they could say he moved to some faraway island to get the same effect.
Not really. For one, there's more emotional weight to make someone's mentor proud if they die, instead of quit or move away. And secondly, we don't have a concrete answer on how Doc died, but many assume engine failure, or possibly even some kind of medical condition, like lung cancer, as Paul Newman himself had. However, that's not as important to the story being told here. Plus, as Luke explains, Pixar initially came up with the idea of Doc being a character after hearing about Paul Newman's racing stories and seeing the passion that he had, so when he passed in '08, it only felt right to give Doc the same send-off.
Tireless Mater and Lightning film a recruiting commercial for the Prometheus School of Running Away from Things.
And where are they supposed to go? The tracks only go in a straight line, and they can't just leap to the left or the right.
The Incredibles is probably 10 times better than this movie.
You may have a point, as even though I do love this movie, The Incredibles is admittedly a few steps ahead. However, this is just you stating your opinion here, so this sin is overruled.
To show the world what his new super fuel can do, he's created a racing competition like no other. And
What? Why not just scientifically demonstrate your fuel's benefits on a YouTube video?
Like that worked out great for Logan Paul's Lunchly launch. But racing is a staple of these movies. Plus, Axelrod created the World Grand Prix as a stunt of turning the world against alternative fuels as a whole.
You're bringing Mater, right? You never bring him to any of your races.
That's racist.
I'm not even going to dignify that with a response.
Let me see if I have this right. Lightning is chilling on vacation at home, but some open-wheel race bitch brags on Lightning, and Mater just happens to be watching, so he calls in to challenge that ragging dude. Lightning comes to see what the fuss is about, sees his friend getting dissed on TV, and then agrees to a road course race challenge out of pure defense of Mater, and no concept of the race itself. And that's how this movie kicks its main plot into gear? I mean...
Congratulations, you just explained what the B-plot of this movie is. Well, what do you want, a cookie?
Using a Cars song for this montage is a little too on the nose. The Cars rule. The Cars movies do not.
Okay, I'm going to have to stop you right there. First off, there are fans of the Cars movies, meaning you've just offended that particular demographic. Secondly, you're just giving your opinion here, which isn't a flaw of the movie. Thirdly, and yes, this may come off as pedantic, but while you might think is a song by the Cars, this song is sung by the band Weezer.
Oh, geez. Can I repeat my sin for this one?
Oh yeah, sure, go ahead.
Everything wrong with Cars 2. They didn't play a song that I wanted them to play.
Oh yeah, another Jeremy opinion piece.
Also, this is a relationship song, or likely a breakup song, wherein the singer says, "All I want is you," to a girl or boy he's in love with. But this is a travel montage, making the song choice even more confusing.
Who the Ford cares? It's a catchy song. Clearly Pixar thought so too, since they picked it for use. Also, he keeps saying the Cars here instead of Weezer, so either he's completely baked, or I'm taking Vader's crazy pills again.
Everyone on this plane is asleep except Lightning and Mater, and they're awake because they're watching Japanese Ninja Warrior for Cars, I guess? This movie is so f***ing offensively terrible, Jesus.
Mate, if I wanted commentary, I'd have put the director's audio description on instead of your voice. Also, Jeremy doesn't understand the concept of Japanese game shows.
Excuse me, can I get a picture with you?
Mater suddenly wants to be friends with the asshole he just yelled at on national TV for the disrespect towards his best friend. Is this his character? I think as annoying as he is, this is not something he would do.
Well, wouldn't that be ironic? You seem to piss off a lot of people with your critiques, and yet several of those people still want a photo with you. Plus, he mentions later in the audio that you omitted to broadcast that it's primarily for Sally due to her fascination with him despite dating McQueen.
Hey, look, it's that spy car from the opening, about whom I remember nothing.
Dear God, did you hit the weed too hard? If so, stop, get sober, and start the film from the beginning.
Sitting on the biggest oil reserve in the world.
How did we miss that?
They've been scrambling everyone's satellites.
Oh!
Laughing at and sinning something you like.
The American is here tonight to pass it to you.
Why would some important spy be happening here, in the preamble to the big race? Why isn't this exchange happening somewhere that's secluded? Is it so there will be a hilarious mix-up with Mater, where he becomes relevant to the story?
You must have watched ahead. You've got as much patience as Bugatti Veyron. Anyway, Rod Redline attempts to meet with Finn in the bathroom at the pre-race function to pass over the intel, but that goes out the window when Grem and Acer attack him.
Those thugs down there were on the oil platform. If they see me, the whole mission is compromised.
No.
Even further reason why no top-secret exchanges would be happening in public places like this.
Well, as CinemaSins mentions, this is actually the perfect time and place to be doing this, as everyone is occupied with the celebrations around the World Grand Prix event. However, take that with a grain of salt, because those examples I've only ever seen in movies like Austin Powers, Johnny English, Kingsman, and the James Bond franchise.
he's a little excited, isn't he?
P-joke. How Shrek of you, Pixar sequel. Straight from a wasabi misunderstanding joke into a P-joke.
Wait. So you're saying Shrek invented pee jokes? Because that could not be any further from the truth. Lots of movies have done this before Shrek became known for them, and like I said previously, DreamWorks was actually a little cleaner in their catalogue before Shrek came along.
I refuse to believe Hong Kong's bathroom door symbols for gender are this vague. This is just more manufactured confusion to create Mater hilariousness.
Hold on! This part of the movie takes place in Tokyo, not Hong Kong. You even mentioned Japanese game shows on the plane earlier, so how in the name of Alfieri Maserati could you have possibly gotten that wrong?
I'm again left wondering why a car in disguise needs to get out of disguise for any reason ever, especially for something like this.
It's so the audience can understand that this is the spy meant to meet with Finn, eventually Holly, and not one of the lemons. Otherwise, Finn or Holly would think this was some sort of a setup.
Mater is oblivious to this battle because he's been sidetracked by his first bidet experience.
How is you stuttering supposed to be a sin of the movie, Jeremy?
When she starts giggling, prepare to be squirted.
This is the exact same thing that happened to me the last time I visited a porn set.
Ugh!
A Volkswagen Common Gear has no radiator.
Well, of course it doesn't. That's because it's air cooled.
Yep, the spies came up with passphrases that are easily answered by anyone with knowledge of cars.
My guess is this isn't common knowledge in the car world, so the spies use it as their passphrase, while Mater got it since he has expertise in this field, being a tow truck.
Why do you have HD video surveillance of basically everywhere but no audio, which would tell you that Mater is not the second agent you have mistaken him for?
But the security cameras don't have audio, and apparently Broad Red Line doesn't exist in this image. The Flat Earther logic returns.
All in all, making its debut tonight is the required fuel.
Again, and I do think this is worth seeing twice. How do you force cars to race on your new fuel without giving them time beforehand to test it out?
And how do you know that's what happened? He could have run smaller scale tests on it before giving it a debut on a worldwide racing circuit through 3 different countries. And since you said it again, this would technically count as double dipping. So I'm going to implement Grandy Tomias' strategy here and give you 2 sins for that.
How the f*** is there a camera in front of Lightning McQueen that is faster than him in order to record this shit?
Well, as Luke mentions, the bigger possibility is that the camera is just zoomed in on McQueen.
The EMPs work on electronic devices and equipment, yet this movie will suggest the gasoline in these cars somehow reacts negatively to the EMP, as though there is electronics inside the gasoline, when really an EMP would stop a car regardless of fuel.
I hate to cut you off there, Jeremy, but there's a few problems with your spiel. For one, this isn't our reality. Secondly, they explain why it was like that at the end of the movie, as Holly goes on to explain that Allinol is just regular gasoline sorry, not American, petroleum, that was engineered to explode once the camera's EMP beam was focused on it. Thirdly, the camera was initially supposed to emit radiation, but after the nuclear accident of Fukushima in 2011, the crew behind this movie changed it to an EMP beam out of respect. And no, I'm not going to continue Jeremy's sin here, because he just goes and calls the movie stupid again.
Get out now!
Well, I usually like to have a proper detailing done before I meet a lady friend.
Somehow, Mater is coaxed into getting out of the pits just because this beautiful lady car begs him to do it. And yeah, the power of car boners is probably strong.
Yeah, not continuing this one either, since Jeremy said monocoque again.
But I know that Finn is a high priority target for the bad guys, but they are specifically looking for Mater right now. He's the one with the thing that they need. So why is the entire bad guy crew going after Finn?
It's because the Lemons found out that Finn was still alive, so they're trying to, for lack of a better term, finish the job so that they can continue with their plans uninterrupted, even if Mater is still their primary target.
Want me to head toward that ruckus?
No, don't go down that street!
Mater, who's been thinking with his car dick this entire time.
Jeep Cherokee, Jeremy. No more boner mentions.
Don't need your help. I don't want your help.
Movie rips off the telling off of Encino Man from Encino Man, which basically ripped off the shooting of Old Yeller from Old Yeller, which basically ripped off the Abraham Isaac story from the Bible, which basically...
Oh dear, he's fallen down the rabbit hole. Anyway, let's just tally this up and return those references to their figurative homes, and I'll see if I can rescue Jeremy later.
Deal with FBI, CIA.
Let's just say I'm AAA affiliated.
Seriously, if Mater were even a tiny bit not dumb, this movie couldn't exist. Though, in his defense, the British intelligence agents in this movie are basically just as much to blame, since they actually think Mater is a secret agent most of the film.
Your points being...
Hang on.
These pursuing cars grunt, instead of, jumping out the window and following these assholes. Like Cap and Winter Soldier on the rooftop. Oh, he jumped! Guess I'm f***ed then, oh well.
This would be a hell of a lot more funny and correct if Greminator didn't end up giving chase to Finn and Mater, through the airfield by driving over the canopies and on top of the aircraft stairs. Supposedly also through the hole that Finn cut out. By comparison, Cap wasn't able to catch the Winter Soldier because he ran off after the leap, and Steve was originally pushed back by Bucky's attack.
When Pixar resorts to jokes, you know something went wrong.
Boy, it's gonna be fun covering this when I get to Toy Story 3. But again, Shrek didn't invent this kind of humour.
I didn't really want him to leave.
Yes, you did. End of sin.
Objection hearsay. McQueen never actually said for Mater to leave. He just said he didn't want his help.
Ain't exactly been much help to anybody recently.
You're helping me. Please, Mater.
This movie is a long-awaited collaboration between Michael Caine and Larry the Cable Guy.
Again, what is your problem?
I guess planes are pigeons now. I've sort of lost track of what's supposed to be intelligent life and mere livestock in this movie.
So wait, you understand that the tractors are supposed to act like cows, but not this?
One involved in this plot is one of history's biggest loser cars.
That's car system.
I'm not laughing.
A secret meeting in 2 days.
Where's this meeting taking place?
Porto Corsa, Italy.
That's where the next race is.
Then
Gee, I wonder what car absolutely needs to be in the location of every race. And we've seen his dubious backstory, and is trying to sell Allinol. Could it be Axelrod?
Good for you. You worked out who the real villain is. But I'm gonna hold you to that later on in the film.
Dents are valuable. Really?
I come by each one of them with my best friend, Lightning McQueen.
Holy this movie just became the most strictly bullshit imaginable. You don't buff out the dents caused by your time with Lightning McQueen. Are we sure this movie's plot was propelled by Mater's attraction to a female car? Because it sounds like Mater's more in love with McQueen.
If that's what the movie is telling us happened, then it happened. Also, Jeremy surprisingly hasn't had a best friend before.
Honestly, how many car races does the Pope even go to?
Well, apparently there's a history of popes and racing vehicles/teams getting together. Pope Francis blessed an F1 car for potential victory. Pope John Paul II visited a Ferrari factory in Maranello, and was given a Ferrari Enzo later on. So this wouldn't be too out of left field. However, this mostly has to do with cars themselves and not the races, so more research might need to be done here, but for now, sin.
I like how every now and then the film cuts back to Lightning, letting us believe he's still a main character, even though he clearly is not.
Apparently in CinemaSins land, deuterogonists aren't a thing.
Every single joke in this movie is some sort of car-related replacement for whatever humans use in this world.
Oh, for the love of Chrysler, it's a world populated by cars!
just happened.
I'm working on it.
You're working on what? The fact that a heavily favored car just wrecked? Can you not actually see through those things?
Oh, they clearly both saw what just happened on the monitor. What Holly is working on is a reason as to why Carla Beloso span out.
It was meant to be alternative fuel's greatest moment. After today, everyone will race back to gasoline.
Let's talk about the villain's plan.
Let's not. And I know you know that this is Axelrod, but if you make a surprise gasp at the end, let's just say the sin value will be much higher than this double sin.
Letting you choose your fuel for the final race, do you have any idea what it's going to be?
All in all.
Well, that's just fucking stupid. Look, we know what's going on here, but they don't. All they know is that cars are exploding for a reason that could only be Allinol.
Admittedly, it's not the smartest move McQueen's made, but it's understandable with Fillmore telling him that the fuel is safe, and after the disagreement he had with Mater in Tokyo, he didn't want to do the same thing with Fillmore.
These assholes all pull guns on Mater, but then give him time to Mater.
And the reason why is because Zundab tells the other lemons to get down just before Mater unintentionally starts shooting at them.
I could not have said it better myself, mate.
The bad guys gas Mater instead of killing him, because they too have a great stake in the toy line Cars and Spires.
Another sin about marketing. Does anyone believe this clown car for even a minute? Anyway, the reason why he's still alive here is because the lemons want Mater, Finn, and Holly to witness McQueen's death during the final event in London.
Way too much of the gas-induced Mater hallucination.
Otherwise known as taking a deep look into himself and realising he's been an embarrassment for a large portion of the film.
London, Mater. Inside Big Bentley.
Big Bentley.
Overruled.
Okay, you movie. When Mater awoke from his gas nightmare, these two were this close to being smashed by the next gear change. But now you want the gears to move and end up with them even further away than where they started.
But that gear they were close to wasn't even supposed to crush them. It's the one on the other side. Besides, when Holly turns back time later, they go backwards towards that gear you mentioned and drive forward, which in turn cuts the ropes.
I shouldn't be saying this at all, but I hope you win today.
Movie thinks that if it makes Axelrod say this, we'll believe he's not the bad guy. And I'm telling you right now, you had no chance in hell, movie.
Yelling at the screen cliché.
EMP suddenly doesn't work because God hates all of us. And yes, I know what the movie tells us about McQueen's fuel later that totally explains this, I just don't care.
Oh, you utter Morris Marina. You seriously went ahead and sinned the movie for not killing McQueen? Even though you were given evidence as to why it went like that? Any more of this evidence tampering, and I'm tossing you in the clink for obstruction of justice.
The previously tested and working laser ray to f with cars running on Allinol doesn't work as expected, so they call in Plan B, which is super sudden, and also a f***ing bomb planted in McQueen's pit, which is a way better method of killing him than some kind of laser ray anyway.
Yeah, but there's a few problems with that. One, the laser ray worked on every other car, and two, it would have been a high-risk move since it would have been seen as suspicious and could have gotten them arrested.
Did you know she had twin batarangs in her front tires? Because I definitely did not know that.
Hence why I said start the movie from the beginning, preferably when you aren't smoking the reefer, and pay attention, because she used them on Tomba when Mater and the agents were in Paris. Also, Jeremy, Batman's on the phone and he wants his weapons back.
I'm the bomb!
Yes, Mater, you are the bomb!
The entire movie is built around repeated asinine misunderstandings, and it makes me want to kill something in anger, like a plant or a beetle.
Suzuki Swift! Should I get the bailiffs to restrain you, Jeremy?
What is happening?
Movie speaks for the audience and does so expertly.
That again sounds like a you problem.
Becoming powerful and rich beyond your wildest dreams ain't gonna make you feel better.
Citation needed.
This coming from a miserable bloke who made it rich by lying about movies.
Yep, that's just ordinary water, somehow knocking the bad guys 100 feet back. Yeah, it's coming from a fire truck, and it's probably strong, but we're talking about cars that weigh a ton.
This isn't our reality!
Damn!
What?
Oh, you son of a Bentley. I told you what was going to happen loud and clearly. I told you the sin value would be higher, and now here it is. I hope you're happy with yourself, you misbegotten citron.
He's crazy! Keep away, you idiot! Mater!
Mater!
Deactivate!
Bomb deactivated.
Why would you make it so that this bomb could be deactivated using only your voice?
Because it was his bomb. Dude, keep up.
It's official. You're coming to all my races from now on.
Gee, you're such a great guy, McQueen. I can't wait for Cars 3 now, where you're probably a dick again for some unknown reason.
Yeah, he does become a dick again to Cruz Ramirez, but he has another character arc, just like he does in the first film.
I'm Mater's girlfriend.
Oh, you are not.
Actually, she is. Meaning I'll have to borrow Luke's award again. And with all that, court is adjourned. Be sure to leave any more suggestions for CinemaSins sins down below, and I will see you in the next video.